The town of Norton, Ohio dates back to 1818. It was originally a part of Wolf Creek Township, which consisted of present-day Norton, Copley, Wadsworth, and several other townships. By 1837, Norton had its own blacksmith shop, located at the site of the current Wolf Creek Tavern. With nearly 200 years of history, this site has a lot of reasons to be haunted.
Well, it started as a cabinet maker's shop in 1830. That was the kitchen. That was the original part. It was expanded to its present-day state in 1840, except for the deck. It's been a speakeasy, a sheriff's office, a children's infirmary, a brothel, a stagecoach stop, and I believe that's it. Well, and a bar and restaurant. It's been a bar and restaurant the longest. It was part of the Underground Railroad. Across the street, now it's Oil Oak Service Station. It used to be a hotel. It burnt down in 1896. Prior to that, it was part of the Underground Railroad. There was about a 2.5-foot tunnel that went under the road where they would crawl through to get away from.
In August of 2021, the Spirit Bridge Project Paranormal team investigated the tavern over the course of 2 nights. The team includes an EVP specialist, 2 psychic mediums, and 2 team members in charge of tech and camera. During the first night, employees and patrons were interviewed about their experiences. The psychics stayed away from the interviews as they did not want to know anything about the location going into the investigation. On the second night, the investigation begins in full. Spirit Bridge always starts their investigations with a silent walkthrough. The psychics are on site and fully engaged in the energy for the first time, connecting with whatever spirits might be there. Impressions are formed and notes taken, ready to share with the owners. Listen as the psychics share their impressions and how those impressions compare to what was learned in the interviews from the night before. And one more thing. In the video you are about to see, every female in the room is visible in the film. But about 3 seconds in, you will hear a female spirit come up to the microphone and give an audible sigh.
I'm kidding. I'm not on that. Regular life in Wednesday.
Okay.
And the live in here.
So just to general let you guys know, what we usually do is we have walked through and kind of meandered around, as you've seen us doing for the past half hour. We're just going to give you our impressions of what we picked up. So we haven't really talked about what we've found, so it may differ, and we have tried our best not to be privy to any of the information down. Like when we were doing interviews yesterday, we both went upstairs because we didn't want to hear anything about that. I don't know if I got this thing where it's like when people go up there, it's a very uncomfortable feeling for some people, especially if you're alone. I instantly, when I started walking up the stairs to the office area on the 3rd floor, I got an image of a hanged man. I don't know if you guys have ever had, if there's any history of that. I mean, I know this place has a long history. So, got an image of a hanged man, just kind of a silhouette of somebody kind of swaying. Generally, what I think what people experience when they walk up there is they feel very uncomfortable, like they're being watched, and as if they shouldn't really be there. And it's just kind of like, I'm going to do what I can and get out of there. So
I just felt a presence up there, and it wasn't me being weird. It's just the 3rd floor where everything was. There was something up there. I just felt it, and I didn't feel comfortable.
Try not to go. I don't go to the basement by myself, actually. I don't go to the 3rd floor by myself. I try to not come into to the building by myself.
It's just almost like 2 parallel worlds operating at the same time. You have the shadows of the patrons that were here in the past, and just kind of like that, almost like a recording that's playing over and over again.
It doesn't feel vengeful at all. It just feels like somebody who's going about their day, moving through the space that they're used to being in.
When I would run through the the main dining room, I always felt like there was like a shadow coming through, you know, where that mirror is, and then there's the back dining room hall. I always felt like I would see like a shadow.
One of our chefs a long time ago, quite a few years ago, came in and heard somebody say good morning as soon as he turned the alarm off, but he was the only one here.
So down in the Speakeasy, I don't know if anybody has ever felt kind of really nervous or out of place, especially towards the wine cellar area. But I was able to pick up on a presence of a gentleman downstairs by the wine cellar. He was in like Prohibition era garb, had like a hat and vest on and a white shirt and slacks. And he kind of led me toward the back, towards that back room, like if you follow the wine cellar back. I also got an impression of Underground Railroad, and there was an African American woman down there, almost in like a white shift, like a old timey PJs, like a robe down there, and she led me back to where the tunnel is that you have that's been like bricked off.
We'd be in here late at night, even after closing time. My wife was managing the place at the time also, and I like to just walk around the building like when there was nobody in here. I thought it was kind of cool, and I'd come downstairs and upstairs and everything, and I've taken some pictures and looked at the pictures later and saw some orbs in the pictures and stuff. One story, Frank asked me to come down here and hide in a back room down here in the basement, and he was going to bring some patrons down and show them the basement, and I was supposed to jump out and scare them. But as I was standing down here in the basement in the pitch black, you know, I'm waiting. They're not coming down the stairs, and so I'm coming out a little bit, you know, standing in the pitch black, and got the little bit of chills. And just as I was like, okay, I'm done with this, I'm out of here, I was coming out of the back door. They just started coming down the steps, so I did. I jumped out and scared them.
Asked us, have you seen anything? Have you heard anything? Have you witnessed any ghosts? Or have you? And we were like, no, we haven't seen anything. And everyone was very certain that we would. They just would say things like, oh, you will. Don't worry. You'll see. You know, and we have. I mean, we've seen things. I witnessed myself in the basement by myself, an orb of light shooting across the basement.
But the one that's given me the biggest chills was when I'm bringing stuff up from the basement, usually ice or random other stuff. I'll be carrying these 2 ice bins up the stairs, and I'll go all the way up to the top, and I'll stop at the top and I'll set them down. Get ready to shut the door, and I hear a couple footsteps coming up behind me, and then they stop.
I also see a man sitting at a bar, and I'm not sure which bar it is. I don't know if it's this one or the one downstairs, but he is an older man, and I'm not sure how exactly he's related to this place. So I don't know if he's a previous owner, and he passed away, and he just spent time at the bar all the time, and that's what he did, and he had this one seat that he sat in.
There's, I don't know, all kinds of, like, I always see people sitting at the bar.
Tell me about that.
It's usually, it looks like a man, but it's consistent. It's in the 2 seats across from each other towards the end. It's always those 2 seats. Older. Amy, who used to own this before, said that was the one side, that was her grandfather's seat. So she said that's probably her grandfather sitting there.
The investigators go into the bar area to begin an EVP session. EVP is short for electronic voice phenomena. An EVP is recorded sound of the voices of spirits and is often caught on audio during a question and answer, or EVP session. As the investigators begin their EVP session, a voice is captured almost immediately. For context, let's start with a portion of Kelly's interview from the night before, and then we'll jump ahead to the investigation and share with you the first EVP that was captured.
Hi, I'm Kelly Epling. My husband and I are the owners of the Wolf Creek Tavern. We have owned it for going on 2 years now.
If the current owner's name is Kelly, can you make one of these lights flicker?
The investigators use dowsing rods and also begin to get a response.
There's more than just you here. Cross. Cross the other one. Oh, you went all the way around. Okay, okay. Oh, you're going to cross backwards here, all right. Nuts.
The team heads upstairs to the banquet room. Recall that at one point in time, the tavern had been a children's infirmary. It is here in the banquet room that they begin to interact with us. In the first video you will hear a spooky groan, and a few seconds later a different voice, a man's voice, saying come on.
Like prevent him from moving. And then when I move, if they want my temperature, like crazy.
Yeah, that's
You're so crazy, honey.
He's so crazy. And then when I move, if they want
At the time, no one could hear the children's voices. But the children sure did hear us. Listen as the team is talking and laughing, and a child's voice, the same voice from before, joins in the laughter.
I knew I heard steps back there.
Okay,
I'm like, okay, I'm just hearing things. I'm like, okay, I'm just hearing.
Then, the children decide they are just going to join in the conversation. Listen as you hear them start talking, and even imitate and mock us.
Oh, yeah. The computer,
Yeah.
Not
the
necessarily.
car. I mean, it's just
No.
like one thing.
It'd be interesting to see when you get home and you plug it in if it works normal, you know?
When you had a lot and you were thinking you,
One thing.
It'd be interesting to see when you get home and you plug it in if it works.
It's how it works.
Okay.
Or without. It's how it works.
Okay.
Or without.
Am I recording?
But do you want that bottled water I have?
No, ma'am. I found mine.
Oh, did you?
and
Okay.
I just took
Okay, guys.
a big old Okay.
Or without. Oh, did you? Okay.
I just took
Okay, guys.
a big old
Next, the team heads downstairs to the speakeasy. As they settle in, things begin to get thrown in the room. Listen to the next two audio clips and you can hear things being thrown.
Now they think, you know, did you hear that?
He went upstairs.
No, something fell over there. In the basement of a tavern either. No. It's, damn it, did you hear that? Yeah.
While in the speakeasy, Laura shares how unsettling the third-floor office feels. Listen as she describes the uncomfortable feeling. Immediately after she says you're not welcome in there, you hear a spirit's voice say, "Yeah." Then a few seconds later, After she says that's exactly what, you hear a spirit say, "Told you."
Beforehand and just, yeah, but that office just has the worst feeling ever. Not like you're gonna get hurt, but like you're not welcome in there. You just, like, this is not a space for it, like, just, wow. Like during the day, you do what you want, you can come up here, do your thing, but after, like, a certain time, this is my space, stay out. That's exactly like.
And like too, how the open meetings had like different views of stuff.
Yeah, she's.
Using the spirit box, the team begins a tandem EVP session. A spirit box is like a radio receiver that is rapidly scanning through radio frequencies at a high rate, creating white noise. It is through this white noise that spirit voices can come through and be heard. In a tandem session, one team member is sitting in one location, asking EVP questions. Here is what that side of the EVP session looks like.
Say that again?
Yep.
Yep. YEP. Why?
It might have said rape. Rape.
Um,
Yeah.
Here is what the other end of the tandem session looks like. The other investigator is located 3 floors up, in the office. The door to the speakeasy and the door to the office is shut tight. There's no way either investigator can hear the other. The second investigator is listening to the spirit box, and as spirit voices come through, uses her walkie-talkie to relay what is being said. Keep in mind this investigator has no idea what EVP questions are being asked, or if any are even being asked at all.
Yep.
Say that again?
Yep. It might have said rape. Rape. Yeah.
We're now going to play for you what happened during the tandem EVP session. Remember how earlier we described the silent walkthrough? It was during the silent walkthrough that Charlie and Brian, one of the other investigators, found that some blocks had been cut out of a portion of the basement wall. Hidden inside the wall was something unusual. This unusual item comes front and center during this part of the investigation. And a few times during this part of the investigation, the team begins to notice a strong sulfur smell. At the same time, numerous flies appear. Also, one other thing to watch for. When the third floor investigator is making her way back downstairs to the speakeasy, as she approaches the shut and closed door, it just swings open to let her in. You'll hear her comment on that.
way back when.
I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm getting everything set up. I'll be ready in a second.
Oh, she's cool. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead and start your EVP questions. I will come on and just answer by here.
Earlier, Brian and I were down here. We found something.
You did.
What?
You did.
You did.
Yeah, yes, that is affirmative. Okay. So anyways, we found something.
Thank you.
I found something. We found something. Do you know that we found something?
Yeah, I couldn't understand what it said.
So please come close, and if you're here, make our make our K2s light up a little. So what did we find?
No.
Baby shit.
What did we find? Did we find something hidden? And do you know who it belonged to?
Quick.
you say quit?
Mm-hmm.
Did I find something I wasn't supposed to find? Was that something I wasn't supposed to find? Was I down here by myself when I found it, or was I with someone?
Killed.
She said killed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found that, I said that man was dead. Was that true?
Daddy and then halfway.
Holy shit. Was that your dad that I found the picture of? Was that his glasses? So if they're answering her, it would explain why we don't have anything here.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Say that again?
Me in a male voice, and then the one voice said nervous.
Was it murder? What was that?
Male voice saying me.
I have chills, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Was it murder? So I'm going to list a couple of things that I found, and you hit red when you hear the truth.
Help me.
Did I find a baseball hat? Did I find a mug? Did I find
Deep male voice said again.
Did I find a Bible or a picture and some glasses? Are you the son or the dad?
I keep getting a little girl voice saying daddy. Daddy.
I literally just asked if you were the son or the dad. You're not going to believe this dialogue. I'm too close to. But if they're up there talking to her,
Right.
we're not going to get much here.
Yeah.
So the correlation is the questions and the answers that she's
Mhm.
giving us.
Oh, that's so crazy.
So I said you were killed, is that correct? And is there something I can do for you?
Mike.
Spell that.
M-I-K-E. Hold that. Push me.
Hold that, push me.
Mikey.
Yeah, it could be any mic. I mean, it could be you.
There's a lot of mics on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I trying to connect here? Tell me why the Bible and the picture was put away. Why was it put up?
Yep.
Say that again.
Yep.
Yep. Y-E-P.
Why?
It might have said rape. Rape.
Um,
something happened that people were not supposed to know about? Okay, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it. If you don't want me to go get it, say something. I'm going right now to go get it. I feel really weird doing this, but like I don't know what to do at this point because we really did find this. So should I put this back?
What is it?
Should I put this back? You guys are here more than me. Should I put this back? Do you guys smell that? Do you smell that?
Yeah.
Do you guys know this person? I know I'm supposed to be doing.
Yet another help me by female.
I know. So we didn't really like go through this. We just saw it.
Is that? Is Craig?
Ooh.
Adam.
Who is Craig?
Sorry.
Why is this Bible here?
Stop it.
Do you think I'm being disrespectful?
This doesn't make sense, but I think you said it's in the scripture.
Oh my God.
Shut the front door. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that you're on that. Okay, I just got goosebumps. Like,
Peggy, come down.
On my way.
I have chills all over me, literally. Like
Wow.
I literally something's like. See if there's something marked in here.
It's in the scripture.
There's a scripture. There was a scripture written here or something.
There's all kind. Do you smell that? Do you smell that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys smell that? Smell it?
I do not.
I've pissed somebody off.
Pastor Mike.
Mike. They said Mike.
Yeah.
Scapegoat. Holy shit.
Does that say supernatural?
Supernatural increase and positions. Return of everything. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Something just opened the damn door for me.
Yeah. So I start asking questions, and so I was like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna ask questions about what Brian and I found earlier.
Oh.
We found this stuffed in the bricks. You wanna see where I found it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What?
So I
The
feel
Bible?
I feel a little funny, but like this just went, like it was just weird.
What?
So we were down here for our walkthrough, right? We found it back there.
How did you see it then? Okay.
I just saw it. And I was like, oh, I said, what is that? That's old. What is that? Yeah. And there's and so I could reach his, he had, so is there anything else? Well, hold on, let's finish this. Like, this is insane.
I'm a little curious now. And
So,
why is it hidden back there?
you guys smell this, right?
Yes. What is it?
I don't know. It just
smells
started.
like sulfur, to be
Yes,
honest
it does.
with you.
Yes. So,
Which
and it's-
isn't a good thing. And
it's really strong right here, and I'm like,
I didn't smell.
I feel something that's trying to like come in. It's something's trying to come in.
Bad?
Not so sure. So we found this.
Who is that?
We don't know. This says Craig. You kept saying Mike, right?
That's
That's
okay.
Hold on. So and I was asking questions like, what did I find? And did I find something I wasn't supposed to find? And you were like, stop it.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And what else did it say?
Scripture.
It was saying stuff before that, and you were going like right along with it.
Everything she was asking, you answered to her questions.
Wow. We would get nothing on this, but that was because you were answering it.
Yeah.
So, and then you said Mike. Ooh, what just fell? Did something touch me?
Fly.
So you said Mike.
Okay.
No, actually, so this is, we're gonna have to
daddy
watch this.
stuff.
Yes, and I said, who did this belong to? Are you the man in the picture? And then you came on and said something
The
about
little girl
my
said,
dad. Well, you said my daddy. And I was like, oh, is that your dad? And then you said
something about us, and we had that we were holding that picture.
Oh. And then murder.
Yeah.
So, but earlier when I found this, I saw this and I was like, this guy's dead. And then Brian was like, he's like 34 years old. I'm like, I don't care. It's like, this belongs to somebody that's dead. This guy is dead. And
what a strange find.
So,
well, and that it's hidden.
Yeah, and then I was like, what? Can I help you or something? I say, is there anything I can do to help you? And you would just say, help me, and then like we would get more, and then I said something, and you said it's in the scripture.
That is so
and there's no fucking way that
and she was holding the Bible.
There's no fucking way that you knew I was holding a Bible.
And it says in there, Pastor Mike.
Pastor Mike.
What?
Seriously. Yes, it was, I was holding
But
this.
it gets weirder to me.
How can it get weirder than I can't?
Just wait.
Like, how can I get, it's in the scripture, which
So
makes
right
no
here,
sense to
right
me.
here, right here, it says Pastor Mike.
Okay.
And it says scapegoat, a scapegoat, so that we could escape from their sins. And supernatural increase in positions.
Is Wolf Creek haunted? Definitely. We caught evidence of deceased patrons. An African-American female was seen near the Underground Railroad tunnel. A Prohibition-era man was seen near the wine cellar. Children communicated with us in the banquet room. A victim of hanging and an unsettling presence was found on the 3rd floor. But we also came away with more questions. As the investigation was concluding, we did an internet search of the person's name in the Bible and found an obituary. He had died less than 30 days before. Who hid the Bible in the basement and why? How did it even get there? The named person never worked at the tavern, nor did anyone in their family, and they are not familiar to any of the regular patrons or staff. The tavern remains shrouded in mystery to this day.